Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ryan Makes Sense, where we talk about personal finance, investing, and chart analysis. Today, let's talk about the number one time frame strategy that I use to get me to seven figures. All right, so the number one time frame that I use to help me get to seven figures is the monthly time frame. This allows me to look at the bigger picture as a whole and then looking into smaller micro timeframes. So as a whole, we can see maybe a stock is starting a long-term reversal. It's going to continue downward. There's a lot of different interpretations we can make when we look at a stock chart. Without any supports and resistances drawn, it can just look like a never-ending downfall. But when we look at the monthly time frame, we can actually look at when we're starting to see the long-term momentum change. This is critical, and this is what I've used to help me get to seven figures. It helped me turn, my small amount of money. I've I've never had a six figure job. I've never had a seven-figure job. I'm a W-2 employee still, but this has helped me literally change my life. I'm hoping I'm not a W-2 employee in 2 years from now, so we'll see. But when we look at the bigger picture, we can then start to gauge and look at the smaller time frames. So we have the weekly time frame, which comes under the monthly. Then under the weekly, we have the daily. Under the daily, we have 4 hour, then we have 1 hour, then we have 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Now, my strategy is literally swing trading. So I don't day trade as much as I would want to, and as much as appealing it is. Holding for the bigger picture is the safest bet because if we're day trading, we dollar cost averaging would be a horrible strategy, which is something I have used to help me lower my average in positions, accumulate more shares, and ultimately leave the trade with break even profit or max profit. So, you know, when we look at the monthly time frame, it just gives us reassurance that if we do find a stock, on the monthly time frame, which we can talk about in a minute, we can then maybe look at, okay, we can start doing trades and setups within the daily throughout this monthly progression. So, for example, on my screen, you can see that I'm looking at this ticker ALLO. So what I use actually is this right here. So right here, we have the monthly MACD. So we can see that it went from bright red to light red, which means momentum is shifting in our favor because we want to take the long side of a trade. We want to hold a stock for the long term. There are tax advantages to this over 1 year, but do what fits your strategy. So when we look at the MACD, we then want to draw lines on the chart. This is the second priority because we then can get a clear picture of what the support and what the future resistances are going to be. So if I blow up my chart a little bit here, and I'm gonna have to drag it down 1 sec. We can see that the monthly candle literally it touched support and then it like almost just touched resistance right here. And if we're looking at the monthly momentum, we can see that it's still turning upwards for a positive move at this moment. So, this is something we now want to look at the weekly time frame, and we want to see if there is a pattern on the weekly time frame that suggests a bullish move. So we want to see an inverse head and shoulders. We want to see a descending wedge. We want to see a cup and handle. There are tons of bullish patterns. Those are my favorite. So we've identified the monthly chart looks good. It's ripe for a momentum shift. Next, we want to look at the weekly and the daily. I'm not going to get into that with you guys because that kind of takes away from the purpose. But then do the same review on the weekly and monthly. Set up your supports and your resistances and see what the chart is telling you. We want to make sure that these micro signals are aligning with the macro signal of a long-term potential reversal. So once we've seen that, number one, the monthly MACD is heading the right way, that's good. We've checked the weekly and the daily. Those either have to be neutral or bullish. Now we want to go over to FinViz and we want to read the financial statements. This is important because we don't want to invest in a company that has more liabilities than assets, is hemorrhaging money, they don't have a product or service, good or service. So that is the kind of final step in this review. Reviewing the chart, reviewing FinViz, and then bonus points is looking up the C-suite, look at the CEO, CFO, COO, look at the directors, look at what the company's done in the past. Are they shareholder friendly? Are they going to turn their backs on shareholders? Do they file their financial statements timely? Things like that. So, yeah, that is the time frame I use. There are a number of ways that you can look for monthly MACD flips. So within um, Thinkorswim, because you can use TradingView as well. So within Thinkorswim, there is a stochastic reading. Let me bring it up. That's as far as it goes, unfortunately. So it's a stochastic reading, and we want to search, we want to run a scan that searches for the spikes. So this spike indicates that the stock on the long term is heading in the right direction for us. So just by searching that, it's going to give us an abundant amount of stocks. So I ran this search um, yesterday, which was Friday evening, and it came up with 200 stocks, which is not a lot. For some context, we're like right before we're getting the recession announcement. Stocks have just been badly beaten. So there is only a limited number of stocks that are reversing on the monthly. So this one, Allogene Therapeutics, this chart looks like it is reversing. I again want to do what again? Yes, yes, yes. So the weekly, the daily, FinViz, company research. So, I have a whole list right here. Let's just click on blue. Is this JetBlue? It is not. It is a biotech company. So, not one that I really know, but let's look a little further. One sec. Okay, as we can see, the monthly MACD has went from dark red to bright green, which means momentum is on its way up. Let's look a little closer at the stock price. Okay, so looking at Bluebird Bio, we can see it actually looks like it started a reversal after it's fully into this momentum shift upwards. So looking here, we can see the relative strength of the volume. Standard deviation is there's more new buyers than sellers, which is good. Um, Again, we would want to do our research. We want to look on the weekly, daily, just make sure everything aligns for a perfect investment because we don't want to invest in garbage companies. We don't want to day trade because we could lose our shirts. We want to invest in solid companies that even if we do get some unexpected news, or they drop something and the stock price plunges, we're still holding a decent company that has cash. They don't have tons of liabilities. There's a good future for them. So this is my number one time frame strategy. Please let me know if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns. One thing you never want to do is guesstimate or predict what the stock or candles will do, because that will put you in a horrible place. Look at the big picture, tone it down into the weekly, the daily. Look at the company's financial statements, look at the financial data points on FinViz. Do your research. But that's all I've got for you guys today. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful day or night. See you soon. Bye.